Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I'm here to assemble the Gnome Friends mousse dies. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's brand new Gnome Friends mousse dies along with their brand new stamp set Mousse Faces, and I'm going to assemble these cuties. So I did make two versions. So there's going to be a sitting down version and a standing version. And I cut them out of American Crafts brown cardstock and cream cardstock, in various shades. So you'll see that with this one, I cut out the main body and then just the head. And then here's the body with the feet. Now you could have left this part off if you wanted, right? I'm going to add that. There's also a body, like just a body piece, for the belly, but I skipped that part on this guy. For some of them, you'll notice that I skip certain layers. So, you can do that as well. So this is my little face. I'm adding the little tuft of hair on there. And then this is the little muzzle, cut out of a lighter shade of brown. And I'm just going to layer those up. Now I'm using Barely Art glue, working on a Stampin' Up pad. All my die cutting today was done with my Anna Griffin Empress machine. Now there are two little nostrils that I cut from American Crafts black cardstock. And I'm just going to pop those in place. Just like a puzzle piece, right? They're tiny, so you're going to want some reverse tweezers and maybe an embellishment wand of some sort. Next, I'm going to add my little belly on. There we go. And that's cut out of cream cardstock from American Crafts. Then this is his little fur ruff. And I would wait until I had my little legs on the front. I had to kind of slip them underneath, but I leave my boo-boos in. Okay, so next I'm going to add on, these are the little legs. Now you probably could have skipped that layer. But like I said, I kind of vary what I do. And both of them looked cute, whether you use all the layers or not. Okay, so next I'm going to stick my little face on. There we are. And then we've got the little antlers I cut out of Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock, so just a craft color. I just wanted to have some varying colors, just so it, looked a little bit different, right? Next, we're going to add on the little bottoms of the feet. That's cut on that same American Crafts brown cardstock. There we go. And then there are, I guess they're the hooves, right? So we're going to pop those on. That's American Crafts black cardstock now. So I think these mousse are super cute. Remember, you can dress these mousse up in like hats or scarves or earmuffs or whatever you'd like. They can be holding things because there's little arms that'll help you either hold things like in front of their belly or even hold something up on a hoof. You can do either of those. And then the standing one is really cute as well, right? So you can choose how you want to do things. I'm going to pop up his little muzzle with some dimensionals here. And I realized, there we go. Isn't that cute? And I thought, I'll use some EK Success chalk, but you know what? That didn't show up. So I've got to figure out something else. So next, I'm going to assemble his little front legs. I started on American Crafts black cardstock, but you could have skipped that. I wanted to give him kind of cream-colored front legs, kind of going with the look like that he's got kind of cream underneath. But, you could have made these brown, like whatever you want. The little hooves are American Crafts black cardstock. And we will add those on with the embellishment wand. Oops, I realized there is a right way and a wrong way for these guys. There we go. And then these are the little front legs. Now you're going to want to, like I did, I kind of slipped mine underneath this little furry ruff, his little chest fur, right? And what's kind of funny is if you keep all of that the same color, it almost looks like he's wearing a sweater, which is also cute. So I thought to myself, that'd be a cute thing. You could kind of make that whatever color you want and make it look like he's wearing a sweater, right? Which is, like I said, super cute. There we go. Just going to line them up as well as I can because he's just going to be sitting. There he is. I just think he's adorable so far. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to add another layer of this little chest fur on, just to sort of cover up the bumps of those legs. And there we are. He's super cute. Now, next I'm going to assemble the little ears. So the ears I cut out of American Crafts pink cardstock, and then the edge, the brown cardstock again. So there is the pink, and then you're going to fit the brown edge on right along the edge there. And there they are. Whoops. There they are. And I just think this moose is adorable. Super fun for Christmas, right? There he is. And next I'm going to use the die cut eyes for this guy. So I cut that out of black and white American Crafts cardstock. So there is a little highlight in each one, and that goes behind the white eye. Now you could have skipped that part, certainly, right? If you're putting on a white little like background piece, you could have skipped that part, but I kept it in. And so the slants kind of, kind of go down from the center on either side of the muzzle is what the plan is. So I am going to pull out Distress Oxide ink and spun sugar, and I'm just using a tiny blending brush, and I'm going to add a little bit of pink to his cheeks because that will show up. The nice thing about Distress Oxide ink is that it's a pigment, like it has pigment in there, so it will sit on top of colored cardstock. So I just wanted it to have some pink cheeks. So next I'm going to pop in, these are the white parts of the eyes, and I'm going to pop them in place, trying to line them up as well as I can. There we go. And then next we will add the pupils. And those kind of line up along the inner side of each eye. And of course I dropped that one. I'm all thumbs today. As I'm filming this, I actually kind of have a bit of a cold, as you can tell by my horrible voice through these videos. Okay, so I'm just going to put some little freckles on his cheeks because, why not, right? I can, with a secure white jelly roll pen and a number 10. And there he is. He's super cute. And that is an A2 size card base. There he is. Okay, so this guy I'm going to stamp a face on. So I'm pulling out one of these stamps from the Moose Faces stamp set from Jaded Blossom, and I'm going to stamp that on a different color brown cardstock here, using my Misty. I love to use a Misty for all my stamping because it kind of helps me not make so many mistakes, really, right? So I'm going to be stamping his little nostrils and smile on a muzzle, and that's in cream. And then I'm going to stamp his eyes on the brown face with no, like it doesn't have the stitching details for the muzzle on that one. And I probably could have put these eyes down a little bit lower, right? But I didn't mind how it looked, so I left it. But you could certainly scooch it down a little bit, scooch them down a little bit. Now you saw that I put some Distress Oxide ink on the cheeks like I did on the other one. This one kind of looks like he's got cheeks, kind of like his eyes are squinting above or her eyes are squinting above her cheeks. Stamping the eyes in Versafine Clair Nocturne ink. There we go. And there it is. And there's the muzzle. Now I'm going to take my secure white jelly roll pen in a number 10, and I'm just going to fill in those highlights on those eyes. And then I'm going to fill in the sclera on the sides of the eyes with a jelly roll number 5. It's got like a smaller point. If you have trouble getting it going, sometimes if you're right on the tip of your finger, it'll get it going. And just because it has a smaller point, I'm able to get in there and just add white to the eye there. And there we go. Too cute, right? So now we're going to put together this really cute little moose. So I'm going to start with the antlers on this guy. And like I said, Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock. It's just craft. I have a big scrap bin that I sitting beside me as I do my die cutting, and I just pull from that as much as I can. That's the nice thing about die cutting. You can use up all of these little pieces, especially these little gnome friends, right? So there he is. Isn't he cute? Oh. Now I'm going to add on the ears. That's American Crafts pink cardstock. And we'll have to add the little edge in the same color as the rest of the moose. Little ear edges there. Just adding it on either side. Okay, adding in the ear tops there. And he is so cute. Next, I'm going to add on the belly on this one. Remember, we skipped that layer on the other one. You know, you can choose to do what you like. There are little legs, but I'm going to skip that because I realize you don't really need to add those on. But I'm going to give him cream legs, so I'm just going to add the little cream pieces right on top of the brown. There we go. And then we have to add the little hooves because this guy's going to be standing, which of course a moose would do, right? He'd be standing on his hind legs. Like, of course he would. Walking around like human with pink cheeks, right? Of course. So next here, we are going to add in his little fun little cowlick of hair on his forehead. Next, I'm going to add in his little belly. That's cream cardstock again from American Crafts. And you could skip putting the little chest fur on if you wanted to on this guy. I chose to put it on later because I just think it looks cute. But, you know, you can choose. I am adding some dimensionals behind this guy's little muzzle. There we go. Oops. I realized part of the little dimensional is sticking up past the muzzle. We don't want that. And there he is. Isn't he cute? Oh, what a cute little moose, right? Okay, so next I'm going to add some freckles on his cheeks. Is why not, right? There he is. Really cute. And we are going to build his little arms. There are two sets of arms. One that looks like he's kind of holding something in front of him or just holding his arms in front. And one if you want to hold something up. So these are the ones that they've got the little arms in front, cut from American Crafts, brown cardstock and black cardstock again. So you can see where all the pieces fit in. There, isn't that cute? So these are the ones that kind of go in front of you. Isn't that cute? Now you can add in the little hair ruff or fur ruff if you want. Then this is the other set of arms. This is if he's going to hold something up, so I'm doing the same thing. American Crafts brown cardstock and black cardstock. And there are the two, whoops, there they are. And if he's like holding something up, right? There we go. And he is super cute, so you could choose to use whichever arms you'd like. So there are the two on an A2 size card base. And I'm just going to glue these little arms in place because I just think these are super cute. So I'm just going to line them up and stick them in place. So he could obviously be holding something in front of him if you want, in front of himself. And there's the other one. And there is your super cute new moose dies from Jaded Blossom with the adorable little stamp set. Remember, there are different options for the face. And I just think these are too cute for winter and Christmas designs. And, probably any other time of the year if your hubby or son's a hunter, or if you're a hunter, Bob's your uncle, right? You can put baseball caps on them. You can have these guys fishing. You can do whatever you want. So there he is. I'm going to add 2 layers of the furry ruff on his chest just to, keep things level. And look how cute they are. So there they are. And thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, and the Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on these adorable products. Bye, everybody.